If you're doing a 5-minute plank right now to finish out your ab workout, stop. It's time to learn a better way to train your abs and how you can get more out of your core training. So understand this about the plank. It is a foundational move. It does teach bracing, which we need to learn. And if you're at the start of your gym journey, it's a really, really good exercise. But it's also a starting point exercise that is meant to be progressed and evolved. And if you don't do that, all you wind up doing is staying in that plank for 5 minutes and wasting your time. There is no virtue to holding a plank for the Guinness Book of World Records. If you want a six-pack, there's a better way to go.
One of the key things with holding a sustained plank beyond 30 seconds is you find that your body starts to go into compensatory patterns by really focusing on the shoulder girdle specifically, focusing on the lower limbs, and mainly your hip flexors to try and keep you up for a long period of time.
If you can hold your plank for longer than 45 seconds, point blank, it's because you're doing your plank wrong. It's because you've stopped creating tension. We've stopped screwing ourselves into the ground. We stopped squeezing our glutes. We've stopped squeezing everything because the less we squeeze, the longer we can hold it. That's how you get these Guinness Book of World Records planks. But what we want to do if we're training, and what we want to do if we're using this as a bracing move and a move to develop our abs, is we want to hold it for 45 seconds, barely be able to survive that because you're creating that much tension and that much force and energy with your body. The other issue with the plank is it's only hitting one of the functions of our abs. So our abs can do many, many things. They can prevent us from rotating, they can create rotation, they can keep us from extending at the spine, and they can brace. But we're only really training bracing in the base plank. But the great thing with plank variations is we can evolve that plank to train these other functions, and that's why it's better to evolve that than to stay in one position.
Which is a beautiful aspect of it. You're taking what you existingly have and you're just adding on an extra layer to it instead of pivoting in a different direction. So when you're able to add those extra pieces to your plank, not only is it going to give you better results, it's going to give you a more well-rounded approach to your programming, which will bring us back to the last area we really want to focus on, which is troubleshooting in a dynamic perspective. We want to be able to use our abs to brace what we want to protect, and that is your spinal support, and that is the mechanism of your body. This means translating your abdominal work into your walking and running and lifting and everything else that you do on your day-to-day. If you're not finding ways to dynamically transfer your abdominal strength and capabilities into the activities that you do, you're gonna have a hard time seeing benefits from the plank long-term.
You want your abs to work harder in the moment for a shorter period of time, and you want to challenge your abs in different positions, and that's what we don't get to do with the plank because it's not a dynamic move. All you're doing is staying in one static position. Once we start to move, we get to have fun, and all of that is better than your 5-minute plank. So spend 5 minutes doing these moves instead.
An optimal way to start to integrate some of those extra features of your abdominal muscles that we were talking about would be starting with the plank with shoulder tap. In this position, what you're doing is you're moving from 4 points of contact and intermittently from side to side going to 3 points of contact. It may not sound like a lot, but when you start to integrate it little by little, you're gonna feel the twisting and turning on the abdominal section where it really has to brace and protect that spinal column.
I love it because it's such a natural evolution of the plank. Your goal when you're in plank shoulder taps, when you're doing these, is to maintain all that tightness that you have when you're doing your standard plank, except by changing that point of contact, we're starting to train that function of anti-rotation. I love it too because we're starting to train other functions, which is so important when we're training our abs, and that's the thing we're missing when we do the base plank. If you really, really want to just stick with an isometric, then the way to go is something called a long lever plank. So when we're in that standard plank, after a while, guarantee you're gonna be able to hold it for longer than 45 seconds. But what happens when we start to lengthen the levers of our hands, get our arms out in front of us, we're gonna train that anti-extension function of our abs that much more. Our abs are responsible for making sure that our spine does not overarch and for pulling us back into this neutral position. And when you have your arms out in front of you, it's gonna be that much harder to hold. Suddenly, you're working a plank variation where, yes, you can work it as an isometric, but no, it's not gonna be easy to stay in that position.
My personal favorite exercise for abdominal training is gonna be the ab rollout. And the reason for that is we're working from that starting position that most people have within a plank, and we're gonna start to roll ourselves out to that long levered plank that Ed was just talking about. The beautiful part of that is you can actually maintain your range of motion in different levels. So if you're really advanced, you can wheel yourself out as long as you can into the most extended position possible. If not, you can always have an external feature to stop you within a limited range of motion. But what it does, it helps you protect from that anti-extension feature from the front side of the abs, and it really turns them on in a way that you haven't felt before.
that's what the abdominal training game is about. It has nothing to do with how long you can hold a plank. I don't care if you can hold a plank for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes. Spend 5 minutes doing the exercises we just gave you, and you'll actually have abs.